The story begins inside the belly of a massive ship, where two technicians are deeply focused on routine maintenance work. Suddenly, everything around them starts shaking in a disturbing way. Out of nowhere, a terrifying entity appears before their eyes, a giant rat-like monster that looks as if it came straight out of the worst nightmares. One of the employees tries to escape in sheer terror, but luck is not on her side. She trips and falls hard, crashing through the ship's floor and landing in the darkness below. Slowly, the creature raises its head and begins staring at her with spine-chilling eyes before the scene shifts elsewhere. On the other side, a young woman named Selina appears. Tired of the hypocrisy of her actor friends, she decides to enter a cruise company office in search of a moment of peace. She runs into an employee named Pete, who is instantly captivated by her shy charm and offers her a clever place to hide. Seconds later, a group of 5 girls in princess costumes storms the ship, ready for a lavish birthday bash. Pete successfully misleads the group, giving Selina the quiet escape she needs. Meanwhile, the ship has already pulled away from the dock, setting the stage for a journey filled with gruesome surprises. In the lounge, a guy tries to shake off his exhaustion by snorting a strange powder. He's interrupted by a ghostly whistling sound that seems to come from nowhere. Looking down, he spots a creepy mask sitting on the floor. When he reaches for it, that haunting whistle echoes again. Frustrated, he spins around, convinced his friends are pranking him. Suddenly, a door swings open to reveal that the mask has vanished and reappeared in the next room. Terror takes over as he tries to flee, but a hidden assailant strikes him with a blade. He collapses, writhing in agony on the deck. That's when the rat beast, known as Zeam, makes its entrance. It grabs a flaming torch and ruthlessly jams it into the back of the boy's skull. On another part of the ship, Selina is desperate for a bathroom, but the ladies' room is closed for maintenance. She has no choice but to use the men's room, where she hears a disgusting chewing noise from a stall. As she creeps closer to investigate, a woman in a nurse's outfit jumps out and scares the life out of her. It turns out the nurse was just in a frantic hurry herself. They both finish up and leave, completely unaware that the monster was actually lurking inside that stall. A short while later, the heavy spotlights on the upper deck start spinning out of control. A cop arrives to check the malfunction and notices a dark shape darting through the shadows. He moves in to investigate, but a massive hammer slams down, crushing his foot. Before he can react, his other leg is shattered by a second blow. Screaming in pain, the officer is left crippled and unable to stand. He reaches for his gun, but another brutal hammer strike crushes his hand into the deck. On the stern, Selina is enjoying the ocean air when a faint scream catches her ear. She follows the noise, only to find a scene that will haunt her forever. The policeman's body has been mangled by the ship's machinery beyond recognition. The rat man turns around, locking eyes with Selina. Oddly, a flicker of recognition or emotion seems to pass through the beast. Selina panics and sprints to find the ship's staff to report the murder. However, when they return to the spot, the monster and the body have vanished without a trace. There isn't a single drop of blood or any evidence of a fight. The crew dismisses her story, thinking she's just had too much to drink. Meanwhile, the captain is worried as a thick, unnatural fog swallows the ship. He tries to call the mainland, but the radio is filled with nothing but static. He hears footsteps behind him, yet the room is empty. His attention is pulled to a vintage photograph on the wall. In it, he is standing with the former captain, and a blurry, rat-like figure is visible in the background. As he gets closer to study the image, the monster's reflection appears in the mirror. In a flash of violence, the captain's head is ripped off, spraying blood everywhere. The creature then sits the decapitated body in the chair and takes over the steering wheel. It begins humming a creepy melody, clearly enjoying its dark victory. The vessel starts veering off course while Selina tries to convince the nurse of the danger, but she's met with skepticism. In a flash of violence, the captain's head is ripped off, spraying blood everywhere. The creature then sits the decapitated body in the chair and takes over the steering wheel. It begins humming a creepy melody, clearly enjoying its dark victory. The vessel starts veering off course while Selina tries to convince the nurse of the danger, but she's met with skepticism. However, a woman named Eve chimes in, saying she's seen enough weirdness in New York to believe her. Just then, the first mate enters the bridge. He finds the bloody remains of the captain and loses it. He scrambles to the radio, but the signal is dead. To make matters worse, the GPS has crashed. Lost in the fog, the ship is now a floating death trap. The first mate orders a crewman to get everyone to the lower deck. He goes off to hunt the killer while two influencers are busy filming edgy content for their fans. Their loud behavior draws the creature's attention, which apparently has no patience for social media stars. Disgusted by their vanity, the beast decides to end the show. As they pose, the monster climbs into a construction loader. The girls think the machine's lights are just helping their aesthetic, but they are actually staring at their executioner. The nurse spots the horror unfolding from a distance, and the creature vanishes into the dark. Elsewhere, Ver is herding people downstairs. The nurse finds Selina and admits she was wrong. They have to act now. Their priority is warning the rest of the passengers, but a locked door blocks their path, and a panicked staffer blabs about the captain's murder. Chaos erupts immediately. A security guard tries to restore order, promising they will catch the killer if they stay united. His speech briefly rallies the crowd. Their priority is warning the rest of the passengers, but a locked door blocks their path, and a panicked staffer blabs about the captain's murder. Chaos erupts immediately. A security guard tries to restore order, promising they will catch the killer if they stay united. His speech briefly rallies the crowd. The water becomes a conductor, electrocuting nearly everyone on the deck. Only 3 people on the outskirts manage to escape the surge and run for their lives. As they flee up the stairs, they find 2 more survivors. They reach the bridge, only to find the captain's corpse and a broken radio. In the gloom, a hand suddenly grabs Sila's leg. They jump in fear, thinking it's the killer. It's actually an old man who has been hiding in the control room this whole time. Meanwhile, one of the glamorous girls is wandering the deck alone, scrolling through her photos. She freezes when she sees a dark silhouette in one of her shots, the Rat Man. She tries to run, but her foot catches on something wet. Of flesh, and a head falls out of it. She lets out a scream so high-pitched it sounds like a literal dolphin. The monster approaches her with a harpoon, singing "Happy Birthday" as it closes in. She ducks into a lounge and screams insults through the glass, but the harpoon shatters the window and pins her to the wall. Back at the bridge, the survivors are desperate. The nurse suggests using a flare gun to signal for rescue, and everyone agrees. The old man then points to a photo and reveals the ship's dark history. He tells them about Captain Walter, a kind man from the 60s. Walter found a mutated creature in the hold that was being used for experiments. Walter freed it, and they bonded, but both disappeared during a massive storm. Now that creature has returned as a vengeful predator. The group decides to split up to survive. Pete leads a team to the engines after hearing noise. They find Dominic, the missing engineer, who is somehow still alive. Dominic urges them to fix the engines together, but as they move, Dominic grabs a steel pipe and brutally attacks one of the men. It turns out she's working for the monster now. Simultaneously, Selina and the nurse search the storage room. The nurse steps on a rusty nail and gasps. Selina begs her to be quiet so they aren't found. As the nurse pulls the nail out, Selina keeps searching for the flares. But it's too late. The beast is already there. Selina turns to find the Rat Man towering over her. In a bizarre move, it offers her a flower made of severed ears and tries to kiss her. Selina screams, and the nurse stabs a screwdriver into the monster's eye. The blinded creature retreats, and the women find the flare box is empty. The Rat Man returns to the engine room, where Dominic begs for mercy. The enraged beast kills her anyway. Albert uses the chaos to give Pete a flare and tells him to save the others. He then blows up the engine room, and the ship starts to sink. Selina and the nurse save a small child just as the water rises. Pete is struggling when the monster suddenly reappears. It grabs Pete and drags him into the depths while Selina watches in horror. The nurse pulls Selina away to find gear to survive the freezing night. They encounter the monster again in a hallway. They trap it under a heavy lid and run. Selina realizes the beast isn't just killing for fun. The child shows them a photo of two rat creatures, a male and a female. The monster is looking for its mate. Selina tells the nurse to take the kid to the roof. They reach the top and signal a passing boat. The rat man finds them and attacks. The nurse tries to fight back with a rod. She's quickly overpowered and wounded in the shoulder. That's when Selina appears, dressed up to look like the female rat. The beast is transfixed, but Selina strikes. The blow isn't fatal, and the monster recovers. Selina realizes they need to move. They see the monster has grabbed the child and thrown him overboard. Selina jumps in to save him, but slips and falls. The monster prepares to finish her off, but stops. It can't bring itself to hurt her. It sees the image of its lost partner in her. Instead of killing her, the beast pulls her from the water. It lets out a mournful howl, showing its strange grief. Hearing the nurse's voice, its aggression returns. During the ensuing scuffle, the monster falls into the ocean. The boy survives by grabbing a floating barrel. A rescue vessel finally arrives. The nightmare seems over, but on a distant shore the rat man is still breathing. Standing over him is the female rat he was searching for. He's finally home. Back at the tower, an operator hears a faint radio transmission. Someone is still trapped in the wreckage. That's the end of this terrifying tale. Calling for help. He was still trapped under the ship, waiting to be rescued. With this, the story ends here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Subscribe to this channel for more horror stories like this.